Okay, here's the thing. Every year, the Greenville Literacy Association, Greenville being the town that I live in, throws a book sale called I can never remember what the whole thing is called because it's so long. It's like the really good, really big, really cheap book sale where basically people donate books to the Literacy Foundation all throughout the year, and at the book sale they have like a little sticker system. Like orange stickers mean the book is 50 cents or 2 for $1. Blue stickers is $1. I think that green stickers are $3, white stickers are $2. There's red stickers I think are $5. $5 is the highest that anything goes. I don't think I've ever seen them stack stickers before, but that's beside the point. The point is that they throw this book sale every year in August, and every year me and my friend Jordan, who runs a book club called Right to the Stars, go to the book sale and we rack up. Well, she racks up. I go with like a 20 in my pocket and I want change when I leave. Like, I'm pretty sure between the two of us we spent like $100, but of that $100, 13 of it was mine. This year I spent $13 at the book fair and I walked away with 13 books. That's probably the most books I've ever walked away with at the book fair. Or I said book fair. I meant book sale haul. I don't know. So what I'm going to be doing today is showing you all the books that I got at the book sale. A good number of these books are children's books. I have a cousin who has a 6-year-old daughter who really likes to read. She actually won an award at her school last year for having read more than 300 books throughout the course of the school year, which for a kindergartner I think is pretty impressive. So I picked up some things for her. I can't speak English today, can you tell? So what I'm going to be showing you first are the books that I got for my 6-year-old cousin. I think all of these were 50 cents except for I think one of them. One of them might have been $1, but here goes the books that I got for her. This book has a blue sticker on it, so it was $1. It's called Dizzy, and it's by Jonah Winter, illustrated by Sean Qualls. It's actually a child's biography, I guess, of Dizzy Gillespie, the, jazz instrumentalist. The next book that I got her is a book that I actually read when I was a kid. It's called Hamster Chase. It's about these kids that have I think it's like a school hamster, and they take the hamster home and the hamster gets out of its cage. It's cute. This book my friend Jordan actually found in the bin of children's books, and I had to get it when I saw her hold it up because it's from Gullah Gullah Island. I might be dating myself a little bit here, but Gullah Gullah Island was the best show to ever come on, Nick Jr. I Will Fight You. I'm gangbanging over children's TV shows now. Wow. Anyway, this book is based on the TV show Gullah Gullah Island. It's called Happy Birthday Daddy. It's by Teresa Reed and illustrated by Stacey Schwett. I really like the illustration style on this book because it's so colorful. Like, look at that. Look at all those colors. This next book I grabbed on a whim because I also like the illustration style in it. I don't really know what this book is about. It's called The Best Time of Day. It's by Valerie Flournoy, illustrated by George Ford. I just really like the animation, not the animation style, but the illustration style here. It looks very vintage, very 70s. I just thought it was pretty. Hopefully she'll think it's pretty. I don't know what this is about. I did not notice that when I picked this book up. Okay, this book I got was also $1. This next book is called Beatrice's Goat. It's by Paige McBriar, and it's illustrated by Lori Elward that I can't quite pronounce. It's about a little girl and her goat, I guess, and it's set in Africa, which I think is super cool. It also has really pretty illustrations, like, hey, and apparently it has an afterword by Hillary Clinton, which I didn't know when I picked this up because I just looked and said, oh, a kid with a goat. Let's do this. This book was also $1. I think I lied to you at the beginning and said that all the children's books were 50 cents. Oops, didn't mean that. It's by Eloise Greenfield, illustrated by Floyd Cooper. I don't know. I just got kind of nostalgic looking at this book. Our own grandpa died when my little cousin was probably 1 year old, so I think this might just be a cute book for her and her mom to read at night. I'm sentimental, okay? And this last book is actually a suggestion by my friend Jordan that I went to the book sale with. It's called Officer Buckle and Gloria. It's about an officer and his dog, where basically no one takes the officer seriously because they're always laughing at the dog because the dog like stands behind him and does like really funny things. I never read this as a child, but Jordan read it and she said she loved it. And it seems kind of silly. So Boo, my little cousin, I call her Boo sometimes. Boo likes really silly things. She's a very silly little girl. So high hopes. Both the text and the illustrations in this book were done by the same person, and that person is Peggy Rathman. You probably noticed that all those books have one very similar thing going on with them. I do try to get her books when I do get her books, and Barbie dolls, baby dolls, bags with Disney princesses on them. I do always try to get her things with black and brown little boys and girls on them because she's inundated with images of the other basically all day long. If I can consciously get her books that feature kids and other people that look like her and her family, I'm doing my part to help the youth. Okay, now onto the stuff that I got for myself. This is I'm so selfish. This is the most expensive book that I bought while I was at the book fair. It has a green sticker. I keep calling it a book fair. It's not a book fair. It's the book sale. Yeah, but it has a green sticker on it, meaning that it was $3. This book is called The Secret Lives of Dresses. It's a novel by Erin McKean. It's set, I think, in North Carolina. I don't really know what it's about. Basically what the little excerpt on the back says that it's about a girl who's always taken the path of least resistance in her life, and then suddenly her grandmother either gets sick or dies. I don't know. Either way, she ends up taking care of the vintage dress shop that her grandmother used to own, and she finds out that her grandmother not only has been selling dresses, but has been writing stories about the dresses that she sells. Sounded interesting. It's set in North Carolina, which is very close to where I live. Y'all know I will read anything based almost, I might have just lied to you again, that comes out of the South / the Carolinas, so I got it. My next book is also set in the Carolinas, but it's set in South Carolina in 1964. You will recognize this as soon as I hold it up because it was a major motion picture a few years ago, and that is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Blue sticker means it cost $1. This next book's been on my radar for quite some time. It is The Eye, the Ear, and the Arm by Nancy Farmer. Blue sticker means it was $1. Nancy Farmer wrote, if you have watched one of my very old videos that I made when I was very high on Norcos after I had surgery last December, I talk about how Nancy Farmer wrote the first book that I ever read that was a chapter book that I picked up by myself when I was a kid, which was called A Girl Named Disaster. A lot of her books are set in Africa because she lived in Africa for a time, because y'all know sometimes I have issues with out-group writers writing about any group that they are not a part of, hence out-group writers. I can deal with Nancy Farmer because she tends to handle things in a very respectful way despite not being a black African herself. She's lived in the countries or in the cultures that she writes about long enough to know what not to do. I have no idea what this book is actually about. I know it's set in the year 2194. I think it's about a general whose 3 children go missing, so he hires 3 basically like mysterious detective figures, the eye, the ear, and the arm, to find his kids. Since this is set in 2094, I'm expecting some really interesting juxtaposition between tradition and the technology of the future. I'm getting that solely from the cover because you have this really traditional looking mask with, if you look really closely, there are like microchips and hardware and stuff in the eyepiece, and if you look back here behind like the huts, you have this crazy looking skyscraper thing. It looks really good. I'm really into it. Let's do this. This book has been on my radar for a while, but it's kind of older, so it's hard to find, and that is Sassafras, Cypress, and Indigo by Ntozake Shange. I don't actually know what this is about. I knew at one point, but I don't anymore. It was $1. Why not? And the last 2 books that I got are actually the same book in 2 different formats. You'll understand in a second. The first is an anniversary edition of The Little Prince by, I can never remember what his entire name is. What is his entire name? The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Everyone has read The Little Prince. If you were a French major, you've read it. If you studied French in high school, you've probably read it. I did both of those things, and I have never read it because I never had a French teacher that thought that this beloved children's novel or book was worth it. Instead, we had to read Albert Camus, and y'all know how I feel about existentialism. The other book that I got was Le Petit Prince, which is the original French version of The Little Prince. So that's backwards. Yay. I was going to give this English one to my little cousin, but no. I am really selfish. That's basically what y'all just took from all of this, but that's it. Those are all the books that I got from the book sale. If you have read any of the books that I picked up last Saturday when the book sale was going on, let me know, because as you saw, I don't know what 95% of them are about. Children's books included. I don't know. I actually need to wrap these up and take them over to my cousin's house. She lives literally 2 minutes down the street from me, so I'm gonna go do that. In the meantime, y'all leave me comments down below in the box. Let me know what you think. I don't know why I said what you think twice. Haven't filmed in a while, kind of getting out of the habit of it. Oops, I'm gonna do better. See y'all later. Bye.